What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I stuttered a little bit, but let me start over.
No, don't hold it against him, fellas.
I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Mr. Toby Thornton. Toby.
That still wasn't perfect.
That
Bobby.
was perfect.
You nearly tripped up again.
I almost ran out of breath. That was the problem. I didn't trip up. I had it all here. It was just I started to. What do you want me to do it over again? I'm not doing it over again.
Just take a deep breath.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Just calm yourself. I think. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to show that I could do this, and you're just
okay. All right. Prove
this
it.
is part of the show. I'm just going to show everybody I can do this properly. Okay. All right. On the fly. No mess ups. No flubs. Here we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all he wishes to land, Toby Thornton. What's up, Toby? See, there you go. Perfect.
What's up, Bobby?
Nailed
you did it. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That was the second take. Just I'm gonna keep it all in there, except for they'll hear it all. It is what it is. Anyway, how you doing, man?
I'm feeling a bit stressed, actually.
Why? What do you have to stress about?
Just babies, man. What
do you mean, just babies? What are you?
Just stressful.
Is she pregnant again?
No, definitely not. I'm just saying that
my ribs are sore. That just hurt. That just hurt to laugh. Oh my God! What? What's Evie doing?
She's not well at the moment, and she's eating her lunch and fussing and crying and then gagging and just general baby stuff.
There's nothing wrong with punching her in the chin.
What was it last time you were saying? Just kill your babies or whatever. You're gonna come and eat my children.
I'm just kidding. You don't ever punch a baby in the chin. You just drop kick her across the room.
Like in South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it just like the baby goes flying.
And this is why I don't have kids. But so how old is Evie now? She's not 2 yet, right?
She's 16 months old.
Oh, don't do that. Just say she's a year and a half.
She's not a year and a half. She's a year and 4 months.
9 months old.
Bobby, it's easier to say 16 months rather than she is a year and 4 months.
No, you just say she's about a year and a half.
All right, she's about a year and a half.
She's approximately a year and a half. She's almost a year and a half. That's fine.
I estimate that she's a year and a half.
Exactly. It's fine. So she's not walking yet, right?
No, not yet.
That's when you're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
That's when you have to start putting all your PlayStation stuff
up. Yeah, exactly. All my DVD cases, all my games, all my wires, my controllers.
See, Sean just lets Link just tear the place apart.
Really?
So is Chelsea. I don't know if you've ever watched any of the videos she posts on Instagram, and like Link has his own account on Instagram. I don't know if you know this.
I didn't know that.
I follow Link. He follows.
So what is up with that, right? People have accounts for their dogs, accounts for their babies, accounts for their toasters.
So there's a reason. There's a reason for it, and I appreciate the reason, at least for the babies, because some parents are so obnoxious with the photographs that they post of their newborns or their kids.
Yeah.
So what they do is you make the separate account. This way, if I want to be inundated with baby pictures, well then I subscribe to your kid's feed or whatever, and I can watch it. That to me makes sense.
Okay.
You British don't understand this stuff because you guys are just rude and disrespectful, and you would just throw everything up anyway.
That's true.
Toby, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
Bobby, you know what? I'm extra geeking out.
Wow,
that I can see I can see your Super Nintendo games in the corner. I don't know if anyone else can, but I can see them.
The ones over here, right?
Yeah.
The microphone kind of quasi blocks it a little bit, but they're not even Super Nintendo games.
They're Famicom, Super Famicom.
They're
right?
Japanese Famicom games. I got some good stuff over there.
Not English Famicom.
Stuff. No.
Or American Famicom.
They're Japanese. Yeah, I got them from Nick.
Just wanted to clarify.
I got them just because I was like, these are really cool, man. I gotta have, like I have Final Fantasy over there, complete in box. It's amazingness. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, what are you geeking out about? You just ruined the whole bit, the whole beginning.
There's never a bit, Bob.
You're supposed to be like, geek out or whatever. You just, whatever. Sean Capri gets more excited about geek outs when he don't even do them.
Well, maybe you should invite Sean Capri on here.
Maybe instead. I should. Maybe I should just replace you.
I'm geeking out about Nindies Direct, actually.
Really, dude? That's all you got? That's all you got for me?
Listen, right?
You have a miserable life if that's all you have.
How dare you right now, Bobby? The last Nintendo Direct we had, you started the episode with, what are you geeking out about? I know, we're both geeking out about the same thing, aren't we?
I don't remember that.
The Nintendo Direct. Yes, that's what happened.
That didn't happen. I don't believe you.
It did. Go back and listen.
I don't want to go back and
listen.
I
thought I'm allowed to geek out about the Nindies Direct because Bobby's going to be geeking out about. We can all geek out together. It'll be a communal thing. I have something else
I'm geeking out about.
Don't tell me it's your Fred Durst sticker collection that you've got going on.
Fred Durst. You're disrespectful, bro. You're so disrespectful. You're a hateful being. I'm telling you. No, man, it's my car, man. I'm geeking out about my car.
Okay.
Really? I just went out and bought a new car, and I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it.
Good for you, Bobby.
You know what, Toby? Seriously. This is why I'm excited. Because it's like it's another step of getting away from everything and kind of, just moving forward with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, because that car was, it was bought by, us and now this is me by myself.
Yeah.
But dude, that aside,
that's very true. That's very true. Because I think cars, you have a special relationship with a car.
Yeah.
And it holds a lot of meaning and memories.
Yeah.
Places you go, just things that happen in your car.
Yes.
So I totally get that.
Yeah. So it was nice to kind of get that away. But the other thing was, I just went to the dealership just to get prices.
Yeah.
Never expected.
You came away with a car.
So and then I'm looking at a car because mine was a 2010 Prius, Toyota Prius. So they had a 2015 Toyota Prius with quite a bit of miles on it or whatever. So that's the one I was kind of going to go check out. It was white. It looked very similar to mine that I had. Yeah. Just an upgraded model. It had leather seats. Everything was it was pretty nice. I was like, okay, had GPS in it and all that. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, And the guy takes me, he goes, I said, I also want to see a brand new one. I want to see what if you have any new ones. He's like, we're sold out of brand new ones. We have none. We'll have some in this week. I'm like, okay, no problem. He's like, we'll take that one for a test drive. He's like, 1 minute. He leaves, comes back. He's got this new thing called a Prius Prime. We got one that just came back. Someone traded it in because they wanted to buy a brand new one. And I was like,
does it transform?
He's related to Optimus, so it's a thing, it's fine. So the thing is I get in this car, right? He takes me for a test drive, and I get in this car, and I'm like floored immediately. It's got this giant tablet in the middle of the console, right? It's got GPS. It's got satellite radio. Dude, this thing is crazy. The minute I go in, the minute I put my phone in the car, and I turn the car on, it immediately turns the music on. It starts playing the music from if I have it set to that setting.
Yeah.
It'll grab my Apple phone and just start playing. It's got a thing because my Apple phone is like wireless charging if you set it down and stuff. Dude, I put my thing in the center console, it just starts charging the phone up.
That's cool.
Oh my god, dude. It's got that lane thing where it doesn't let me really leave the lane.
Yep. Lane departure warning.
Yes, it's got that. It's got when I go into cruise control, it like if I'm coming up on a car, it keeps the distance, so I could just like not worry about it. Like because the car actually slows down, the brake starts to. I could plug the car in if I wanted to, or I just run gas electric like my old Prius. I like it, man. It's got all the bells and whistles, man. Leather seat, it's gorgeous. It really is nice. Really is
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a nice feeling getting a new car. You get all excited.
Yeah, you get all like. That's why I'm geeking out about it, Toby. I get all excited. It's so. All right. So, what do you want to start with? You want to start with your topic, my topic? How you want to go with this?
Well, let's go with mine to begin with because I think
yours is kind of like a build up to
the
main event.
So my topic today is Sony announced they're doing a online video presentation called Sony's State of Play.
Okay, so for those that are listening that need this explained to them further, Sony is ripping off Nintendo yet again, and they're utilizing the Nintendo Direct format. And they're going to do
they're ripping off Xbox, who's ripping off Nintendo. so like,
is it? You think that's what's going to be more like Xbox?
I think it's going to be a bit of both, somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Because I think Xbox is perhaps they've got their own thing. What's it called?
Xbox.
Inside Xbox.
Inside Xbox, yeah. Which I like. So, I like that.
I think sometimes they're a little bit too chill though.
Yeah, they're a little laid back with it. Yeah.
But I think that it's going to be chill. Mm-hmm. But I think that they're going to also have quite heavily scripted moments, and I don't know exactly how much talking there's going to be.
Yeah, I want to say this. I want to say this before we begin. I take the jab just because that's what I do, but I like that Sony's doing this. I like that they're taking a page from Nintendo to basically go like, hey man, we admit this is a good thing. Let's go with it. I like this. I don't like waiting for once or twice a year to get news.
Yeah,
I like it when companies come out and go, here it is, you know?
Like, this year, like, well, since, like, E3 last year, it's kind of been pretty quiet from Sony.
And Xbox.
And Xbox, yeah.
Like, let's be fair. Like, with the Nintendo Directs, it felt like it was non-stop Nintendo trending on Twitter. Like, everything was, like, every day was a Christmas for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it felt like last year you heard nothing from Sony except for E3, and then they canceled PSX, and it was like, man, this is nuts to think that like this is the way it is. So I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be the start, or it's a series of videos, so it's not just a one-off thing. But yeah, I just wanted to know, like, do you have expectations for this? Do you think there's going to be some big announcements? Okay. Or is it kind of be, just updates?
I think it's I think what this is going to probably be is I think we'll probably get another Last of Us trailer. I think we'll probably get another Death Stranding trailer. But what I really think we're going to get is I think we might actually get dates this time.
Yeah.
I think we might finally get the release dates of those games. I think we'll get a couple of new hits, like a couple of games that are coming out that are new. I think the timing of this is also very weird. I think we also might get an announcement that, like, hey, on this date, we're going to talk PS5. Because they're in this weird moment where Nintendo is here with the Wii U. Mm-hmm. You're in this weird moment where the console's leaving, and you're preparing for the next console.
Yeah.
So you're also shifting games on the PS4 to the PS5, and just like Nintendo did with the Wii U to the Switch. So it gets this weird moment about it where I feel like it's just like almost like they call it like a lame duck president. When the outgoing president's leaving and the new president's coming in, it's like you don't really make any decisions, because if you do, the new president's just going to change it if he doesn't agree with it. So it's like, whatever. So it's kind of one of those things. Like, you're coming in, you're not really doing anything because you got to have stuff to put on the new console to make it nice, new, shiny, and all that stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see how this all goes about, man.
Yeah. I think, like you said, we're going to see something new on the 4 big games that are still to come, supposedly, for PS4. You've got Days Gone, which is out very soon. You've got Ghosts of Tsushima. You've got Death Stranding and The Last of Us Part 2. So they're like the 4 big things.
Yeah.
So I think, like you say, there'll either be new trailers, release date, maybe just a bit of gameplay demonstration. And I also think they'll have a stream of indie games. Especially, interestingly, actually, because Microsoft announced they're doing their own indie direct style presentation. And Microsoft announced theirs just before. Like, it's timed a few hours before this presentation, so that's gonna like.
Oh, so Microsoft's putting something out before.
Yeah,
I think that's what they should do it after.
I think it's hilarious because I think either way, it's gonna take a little bit away from what Sony's doing. You know, if Microsoft has some big indie games exclusive.
Indie. I know we're going to talk about the Nindies showcase.
Yeah,
but I feel like I don't get excited about indies as much as I do like a regular announcement, and because I don't really necessarily know all of the indies. There's so many independent developers out there.
There are. But as we'll discuss momentarily, I think if they partner, if Xbox partner with an independent studio and shares one of their first parties with them, like Nintendo's been doing lately, that could be exciting.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I look at it and I go, I think that's why I enjoy the Nindies more than I do the regular Nintendo stuff, because I get more surprises from the Nindies than I do with the regular. Because the regular it's very canned. It's very, you know what to expect. They're not going to come out and be like, oh my God, here's Mario Golf, and here's Mario Tennis, and here's Mario Baseball, and like, they're not going to hit you with and here's a brand new 2D Mario, and here's a brand new Zelda. Like, they don't do that. Like, you get one of those. You don't get a bunch of great things. Where a Nindies Direct can turn into like 10, 15 games that you just lose your mind about, because you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, so it's interesting, to be honest with you. It's pretty cool to see how this all works out.
Yeah, I think that they will need one big announcement though, because otherwise it's going to be, because we've had so much silence and we've been waiting for stuff from Sony for so long that if they just come out with something that's just about games we already know about and some new indie games, it's not going to be that exciting. I think that you're right. They need to tease something about PS5.
Yeah.
Whether they say, here's a date, we're going to talk about it, or if they just tease like a PS5 exclusive.
Could you imagine if they just came out and they were like, here's the controller, and the controller was just kind of, because I think the controller is going to be very different than 4.
Yeah.
I feel like the light bar, number 1, is going to be different. I feel like the touchpad will be gone on this one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I feel like they have the opportunity to do some really cool stuff with this controller. And let's be honest, Sony really does take risks with their controllers, meaning they're always trying to advance with the controller and do the next big thing. Usually,
I don't know. I'd say Sony is more conservative. Like the physical design of it hasn't changed much since.
That's not the point. For me, I like that because I feel like every single controller.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying that the things they have added, like 6-axis, the touchpad, the light bar, it's small things and they're gimmicky things. Like, I don't think they're
analog
big
triggers.
risks.
The analog triggers were a big thing, right? Same thing with the controls when they went that way. Like when they basically start to take these steps with the tech. Yeah. Like, I like that. I feel like their controllers have always advanced with the tech, and they've always put out the best tech-filled controller that they can.
I think, we're getting off topic now, but I think the PS5 controller is going to be either something crazy, like it's modular, you can swap things around on it, or it will be just more high-end pro gamer. You know, like the
Yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
Pro controller, like
the Elite.
be a bit like. Yeah, that's it. It'll be. I reckon might be a bit more like that.
Well, because Sony's been working with Scuff a little bit, and they've been doing like some pro controllers. It'd be kind of cool if they did do that, where they had paddles on the back of it and did something more pro like such. But it would be kind of cool if they were like, "Here's the controller to learn more about it. Yeah. We're going to announce it come September or whatever it is. Be ready for it." That's the way you kind of get the hype up and get people excited, and then be like, boom, just walk away. Give them a little tease and walk away. Because then I feel like then all the speculation begins. You showed them a little bit, not a lot, and you got the hype going. And because you think about it, when Nintendo put out that original Switch trailer, right? They didn't talk about it. They just showed a trailer, right? And everybody just started talking about, like, well, is it this? Is it that? Is it touchscreen? Is it, we'll do this, we'll do that. Like, all the Joy-Cons, they break off, and then they, what I mean? Like, you get the hype building about it. So, for me, if they were to do something and go, here you go, and then you have 6-8 months of just hype built around the controller, like people analyzing that. You'll have analyzing videos about that controller going, okay, we think this can do this, and this can do this, and it's kind of cool. I think that's
definitely
kind of cool to do. Yeah. We'll see, but I think that's something they need to do in this presentation. They need to do something big to like hit it home. Now, I mean, could we see a new game for the PS4?
Well, I'd say not for PS4. I mean, obviously they're gonna have some stuff. Like,
I mean, let me ask you a question.
I think
if they were to come with like a new Sly Cooper game, or a new Ratchet and Clank game, like at the end of the
that would excite me. That would excite me. Like they remastered the first Ratchet and Clank game. I would love them to do that for the next 2 games as well. So I wouldn't say that would be like the one more thing moment.
No, but it's something to get you excited.
Yeah, definitely.
What else do they have? They have Sly Cooper, right? They have, what was the other one that was pretty big?
Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter. But they've never done, for the PS4, they never did Sly, they never did Jak and Daxter, right?
They did a HD Jak and Daxter thing.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a new game or anything.
Is there anything from the library that would get you excited?
We already getting the Medieval remake.
Okay.
So that base is covered. I don't think there's anything like a classic series like that would get me really excited. I think what would be more exciting, like I said earlier, is a tease at a brand new PS5 exclusive. Whether that's a new Uncharted game by a different developer, or just a new franchise.
You know what's crazy? Is it crazy to think that like we might not get another Uncharted game?
I think we will. I think it just won't be from Naughty Dog.
You think?
Yeah. I think Naughty Dog's done with it.
Oh man, that's kind of upsetting. You know what I think too? I'll be honest with you. Wasn't it Insomniac or not Insomniac? Who just talked about Infamous? Somebody just tweeted about Infamous this week.
I don't know.
That's not Insomniac that makes Infamous.
No, that's they make Killzone as well. And Horizon, was it? Was that them?
No, that's Guerrilla.
That's Guerrilla. Yeah, Horizon's Guerrilla. Ah, oh, dude.
My mind went blank.
My mind's blanking as well.
Shoot. And there's people sitting there screaming at us right now. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Infamous. Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. That's it.
So the question is, my God, how could I forget that name? So, do you think we could see another Infamous game, or at least like a collection?
No, I mean maybe a collection. I think that that series is dead. I don't know if they could do anything more interesting with it.
I like that series. It's a good series.
I found it kind of boring.
Really?
Yeah.
You're one of the few.
Am I?
Yeah.
Did it sell that well? I don't know.
I don't think Infamous, whatever it was, the one on the PS4, I don't think that one did very well. But I think the original series did pretty good. I could be wrong, but I thought it did
Yeah, I
really
think
well.
you might be right about that. It might have sold better on PS3.
Yeah, I don't think the PS4 version did that well because they also changed the characters, and it wasn't what people were excited about.
I think maybe that's what I found boring about it. Like the main character from the latest one was just dull.
Yeah,
really dull.
Yeah, Delson or whatever. Yeah,
Delson,
that wasn't
yeah.
Dulcin. It wasn't really that wasn't exciting. Okay, so and I don't know this, and I'm going to ask you, but I don't. When did the last Gran Turismo launch?
It was GT Sport, and I think it was either late 2016 or 2017.
Okay, so could we get it?
Actually, I think it might be late 2017. The thing is, they've been doing free updates constantly since it came out. They've added over 100 cars. Okay. There's even a new update coming out very, very soon.
So they probably could talk about that a little bit.
I think that we won't see anything new from them until PS5. Like,
I mean, could that be something that they announce? Gran Turismo just kind of fell a little bit. Like, it's not.
It did. It's definitely fallen from grace.
I think that part of the problem is Horizon just is, so good. Forza Horizon, but Forza. I think the Forza series, the Forza Horizon series, because Forza Motorsport is it's good, but it's not like as good as Horizon is. But I feel like that series kind of stole the thunder from all simulator racing games. Like, it's so good that it just kind of I know that
I agree.
You're iffy about that series.
Yeah, I enjoyed Forza Horizon.
It's not GTA racing for you, so that's why you have a problem.
No, I like arcadey, but see, Horizon is sort of arcadey, but sort of not. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
So, that all you got for now? You got anything else you want to add to this?
Not really. I mean, I'd like to. If anyone has any predictions about it, they want to leave in the comments.
Okay,
I'd like to see that.
So the next thing we have is the Nindies showcase. We kind of wanted to break it down and discuss it. When this thing first kicked off, Toby messaged me right away, and I was like, I was like, no spoilers, Toby. I haven't watched this thing yet.
I knew that you would say that, so I didn't want to say anything up front. I just put like a face.
Yeah. Like... So Toby and I had this thing, like, well, he's more than me, but like, he gets real anal with spoilers. Like, furious if you spoil stuff for him.
Oh, definitely.
Like, to the point where he gets, like, really mad about spoilers. So, I know that but he's also respectful on that end. Like, if I go to him, like, hey, man, I haven't heard anything, don't say anything, don't spoil it, he'll just shut it down. So, he won't ever lead the conversation like, oh my God, did you see Cuphead? Like, he wouldn't start with that. So, he'll just be like, man, that Nindies Direct, and I'll just be like, yo, I haven't seen anything. And he's like, okay, I'll shut up. So that being said, dude, we're getting Cuphead.
Yes, like, Cuphead.
Holy.
You know what's funny? Like, it was heavily rumored, but it still came as a surprise to me. So I don't know why that was. Like,
I think because it's one of those things. Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw my reaction to it. I think it's because it's one of those things that we want so badly, and it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, because we're still in this, even though Nintendo and Microsoft has kind of been working together, and kind of helping each other and such, we just still don't believe that this stuff can happen. And it's like, even though Microsoft has continued to show that they're willing to just drop their peen on everybody's face, they're just not going... They're not.
All right.
Toby perked up at that one. He's like, "Oh, okay. Now we're talking my language." But because they're just like, they're doing this over and over again, until people still hear it. I think something like this, they go, like, Minecraft should have been like the catalyst. Like, people should have been like, they're putting Minecraft everywhere. This room makes sense. You know what I mean? But it still was, well, that makes sense because Minecraft was already everywhere. They didn't really do anything. They're just trying to make their money back. But this, it's like, they're going, hey, because now the stories that are coming out about this was Minecraft's idea. Not Microsoft. This was Microsoft's idea. Microsoft went to the developer, went to Nintendo and said, hey, what if we put, that's nuts.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God. But I love it. I love the idea because I really think, I mean, as a Nintendo fan, it makes me excited because I go like, but I understand the business side of it of why, like
It means a lot though, because just the way that Nintendo said, special thanks to our friends at Xbox.
Yeah, man, that was
and
huge.
That bit made me go, oh, that's so nice. Because I feel like the companies are respecting each other, they're working together, and it just annoys me a bit that Sony's so cut off from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't ever imagine them saying special thanks to our friends at PlayStation.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't know. It just seems like Nintendo and Xbox, they work well together.
It's almost like Nintendo and Xbox are like the United States and England. You know what I mean? And then you have Sony as Mother Russia. They're like, they're there, and you're just like, we're friends, but we really don't trust each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless your name's Trump, we're not really on the same page with you.
Yeah. We'll stand next to you on stage.
Yeah.
We're not going to work together.
Yeah. Well, Phil Spencer's going to be the buffer between us.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch Reggie punch Sean Layton in the face when he was up there at the Game Awards. I was like, just Reggie, you're going out, bro. Just go out with style, man. Hit him with an elbow right in the face and just walk out.
The Reggie elbow.
Yeah, exactly. Hit him with the Reginator. Just be like, bang, and be like, done. But like, to see this is still like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe we're getting this. This is, it's crazy. Because now it also opens the floodgates to Ori. And, man, if they announce Rare Replay, like, so that's the thing. Like, it opens the floodgates, but how much of the floodgates? You know what I mean? Like, how much actually shows up? And I think that if this game sells, like, I think it's going to sell. Like, it's pre-order, and it's already trending in the top sales on the eShop already. Yeah. Like, so I think that if this thing sells the amount of copies that I think it can sell, I think then Microsoft goes, okay, now we're bringing either Ori or, Rare Replay. And I think still, man, if Rare Replay comes, I will lose my mind. Because I never played it. I still never played it.
Yeah. There's some really classic games on there. My top picks would be, obviously, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Not so much Banjo-Tooie. I mean, that's still great, but not my favourite. You've got Perfect Dark and Blast Core. I think they're like the best ones. And there's some other ones that I haven't played, like Jet Force Gemini, that I'd like to check out. Yeah. But yeah.
I would love to go back and play like RC Pro-Am and Battletoads and stuff. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I know the games are... RC Pro-Am is actually pretty good.
Yeah, people like that one.
Yeah, I used to play it on the NES back in the day. I loved it. Is Killer Instinct on this thing too?
I think, Killer Instinct.
Yeah. I never played Jet Force Gemini. I would love. I've always heard really good things about it. I would love to jump in and try it again. The Conquer games are on there as well. They'd be fun to go back and play. Oh, it's just so much goodness within that Rare Replay that I would love to get my hands on and just be like, I'm ready.
Yeah, and it'd be nice because they always, when Rare left Nintendo, it was like, oh, they're taking our games, and they're like, now you can play them on Xbox, which is great, but it just don't feel right without that Nintendo controller and everything. Yeah,
it's weird how games do that. You know what I mean? It's weird how like you play. Like I'm playing Final Fantasy IX on the Switch, and it feels awkward. I don't know why. It shouldn't. It just feels different. You know what I mean? It's like, man, because I recognize it as a PlayStation game for all these years, and it's like it's weird to play without the PlayStation controller in your hands. So it's different, man. It's different.
Yeah.
What's the so they start off with that, and then where do we go from there?
So then they went to Overland, which every time people bring up this Nindies Direct, they always forget about this game. which worries me a bit for them. It's a turn-based grid post-apocalyptic game,
this
basically.
game looks so good, dude. I
Yeah.
want this game bad. Yeah.
It looks really cool. I mean, the art style, it's very dark and gloomy, but it's very clean as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. They say that the story, like the direction you go, depends on your decisions. I think some of it's procedurally generated.
Yeah.
And it's like, you are just living in a post-apocalyptic world, and it looks really interesting.
What I really liked about that, the part that made me go like, "Oh, that's really cool," is the traveling, the quasi like traveling from scene to scene, like in the car, and it's desolate, and it's that like that art style and stuff. Like that one really got me excited. I'll be honest with
definitely.
You. I liked it.
Next up was My Friend Pedro.
I've heard some good things about this.
Yeah, people seem hyped on this.
Yeah,
it's it's like a physics-based side-scrolling shooter where you can do crazy flips and you've got bullet time.
Look cool.
I don't know. Like when I first saw it, I was like, not sure about the art style and the whole floating banana thing, but
you love bananas.
The actual acrobatics where you can do flips and then shoot in two different directions at once, I can imagine that being really stylish and cool if you know what you're doing with that. Yeah.
Exactly. Go ahead. Next one.
Next up was Neocab.
This one did not.
It did not do anything for me. I mean, the art style was cool.
Yeah.
But it seems more like a narrative game where you choose conversation decisions, and it's much more passive. I'm not
this is
so
keen.
This
is an Adam Leonard game, and the Mega Dads, because they like them loser games like that. So yeah.
Then we had, they focused a lot of attention on this game. They had one of the developers or producers of the game, Red Lantern, or The Red Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the dog sled game.
Oh, yes.
I thought the narration in this trailer was really good. It definitely gave me Firewatch vibes. It seemed like it had a strong emphasis on story and a journey and adventure. But just because it's the whole dog sledding thing, are there any games based on that? It seems very unique.
Yeah. It interests me. I'm in. I saw it at first when they were first home. I'm like, what the hell do I want to play a dog sledding game for?
Yeah.
And then I started watching. I was like, this is kind of cool.
And because it's there was
bear bit
survival.
the dog, bit its face. Yeah. I'm like, whoa! What is going on here? Yeah, man, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Then we had a horror game called Darkwood.
Yeah, no.
Top down procedurally generated game. This did 0 for me, I'm afraid.
I don't like scary games.
I don't know. It doesn't seem that scary to me. You know what just annoyed me about it was I love top-down games, right? But not when they are directly up the top, looking straight down. Yeah. I like there to be a slight angle. It just does... I don't know. I get annoyed when I just see a character and you can just see the top of their head and their shoulders. Yeah. And it's I want to see the whole body. I want there to be an artificial angle to the walls and everything. And it just seems lazy to me. I don't know. It just annoys me.
You can't be Zelda, bro. Calm down.
Zelda did it right all them years ago. People don't...
Stop it. Get ahead.
All right. Next up, we had Katana Zero. Remember this one?
No, I don't.
So this is it's all glorious pixel art. It's a side-scrolling game. You've got a sword. I'm not sure if you have a gun as well. But you are going through these environments, taking out enemies, and solving small puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
You can die very easily, and if you die, then it sort of... It's you can rewind. It's no, that's not how it really went. This is how it went. And then you try again.
Yeah. I'm kind of over these games that are kind of Celeste and that. I don't know, man. It's just... And that pixel art style, too, is kind of... It just doesn't do anything for me. No? It really does. Okay. Okay, look. I love pixel art.
Yeah.
But I love clean pixel art.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's muddied up a little bit sometimes, I'm not a fan of that stuff. Like, I don't like it, you know?
That's, understandable. I like the fluidity of it. It felt so smooth. Like the animations were really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Next up was Double Fine's game called Rad.
Nothing for me.
Nothing for you?
It had no. I'm not a fan of Double Fine games. I know that they're really fantastic. I know people love them. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't move the radar for me for some reason.
Okay.
But what did you think?
I mean, I was a little bit on the fence about it. I still am. I think it's a cool concept though, because it's like a semi-top-down action game where your character has the ability to mutate and take on different forms, which gives them different special attacks and moves. And I thought the art style wasn't quite right for me. It feels like it should be, because they're going cartoony, but it's also muddy. And I don't know, like if they're going to go cartoony, I want them to just go full cartoony.
Yeah.
But, you know, interesting nonetheless with the mutations. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Creature in the Well. This was the top-down game with the guy with the sword and the pinball type mechanics, where he could swipe at these orbs that come flying.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
No? Nothing for you?
No, nothing for me.
Did you ever play Hyper Light Drifter?
Yes. I started it. Got a little bit in. That game, too, I struggle with at times. But I liked the last time I played Hyper Light Drifter, I liked it a lot. I don't have time to really dive in the way I used to. So it's kind of, if it doesn't grab me like immediately, maybe fall in love within the first 20 minutes, I kind of like, I'll get back to you, and then I just never do for some reason.
Yeah. I loved Hyper Light Drifter. I got definite Zelda vibes, but it was its own thing. It was very hardcore. And this game, Creature in the World, definitely gave me those vibes again. They mentioned having, I think, 7 different dungeons, and they specifically mentioned handcrafted, which I thought was interesting, because so many games these days, developers just say procedurally generated. It's different every time you play, or it's like partially procedurally generated. Like some rooms are crafted and some of them are just computer made.
Yeah.
But I like the way that they was like, these dungeons are handcrafted.
Yeah.
Because that makes me think that more thought went into the design of them and to work with the mechanics. God, you're so bored, aren't you, boy?
No. No, I was trying to stifle a yawn. I was.
You were just about to nod off.
I was stifling a yawn because I was so bored. No. I was listening. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the pinball mechanics are interesting, especially mixed with like a top-down action RPG.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of that. I don't know. It just didn't really do anything for me.
Next up, we have Bloodroots. This was the Wild Westy looking action RPG where you've got lots of the ability to find lots of different weapons and makeshift weapons. I think that's another one where you die very quickly again.
Yes.
It's very fast-paced. Didn't do a lot for me. I don't know why. This game wasn't really clicking for me.
Yeah.
I feel like they just didn't show enough of that one.
I agree. There was just something lacking of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these, it hit a point where it just felt like some of them weren't huge for me. There wasn't like these massive games that was just like, oh yes, like it was just like
not every game can be like that. I mean, I think that there's something for everyone, kind of.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Pine, which was an open world Skyrim-like, but on a real tight budget.
Yeah.
Sort of a cartoony RPG thing with different biomes and stuff.
Yeah, I felt like that game could get pretty deep if you if you got into it. Like you could really lose yourself in something like that. Honestly. Yeah,
definitely. Another one that I'd like to see more of because just didn't really show too much of that. Then we had Nuclear Throne. That's already been out on PC for a while. It's a quite well-known roguelike, so it's quite excited to see that come. Then we had Blaster Master Zero 2, Bobby.
Man, that came out of nowhere. And it's out now.
Out now, yes.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. Like, I wasn't paying complete attention when they first showed it off, and I missed the part where they said the sequel to, and then they said Blaster Master Zero coming to Switch, and I was like, wasn't that a launch game? Like, I swear I played this already.
I missed that too because I was watching. I was like, that's already a Switch game. What are they talking about? I missed the sequel to it.
And then at the end, it comes up Blaster Master Zero 2. So, but that looks just glorious, just like the first one was. Definitely going to pick that one up. I actually jumped back into Blaster Master Zero because I never finished it.
Yeah.
I got to the very last area and just stopped playing for some reason. So I'm going to try and sort of refresh my memory of that game and finish that one. And then I'll pick up Zero 2. So then we had the Stranger Things Season 3 game.
That got me excited.
Yeah,
me
too, man.
When they announced that game, I was like, oh man, I would love to play this game, but I'm not a Steam player. So I was like, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna check it out. Really?
Yeah, I think the art style's cool. Definitely capturing the vibe of the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
yeah. And then finally they finished it with one of my favorite things, the crossover Cadence of Hyrule, Krypton and Necrodancer meets Zelda.
Okay.
So my reaction was probably the same as yours. It was like, oh, I know this game, Krypton and Necrodancer. And then it was like, hang on a minute, that looks kind of familiar. And then the music kicks in, and then you're like, oh my god, that's Zelda!
Yeah,
like,
because the world started to feel Zelda-like. Like the buildings started to resemble, and the trees started to resemble. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, when I was like, oh, here we go, man! I was hyped. They had me at that point.
You know, it was so funny. I was watching on my tablet, and my brother was sort of behind me, and he sort of jumped in and saw that trailer, sort of in the middle, just before it turned to Zelda, and he's like, oh, that game looks really cool. Like, the art style is really good. So then I thought, oh, I'll take my headphones out. And as soon as I took them out, it kicked into the Zelda music. And then I was like, what? What's going on? Just, that was just such a cool trailer and such a cool way to end the Direct.
Did you ever play the first one?
No. And you know what? I don't think I will.
No, because it doesn't look anything like it.
No. I've always been intrigued by it. The amount of times I've watched the trailer on the eShop and thought, should I get this? But now, like, just the fact it's looks like, you know, it's capturing those old school Zelda vibes. You know, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, me too. And it's weird because she hops around. Like, I don't understand what the game is exactly. It feels like it's a rhythm game.
Yeah,
fighter.
It is. Let me explain it to you, Bobby. Right?
Please. Please do, Toby.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a grid-based game, and your character can take an action, whether that's moving or attacking, on the beat of the track. So if you try and move out of time with the music track, you don't move anywhere, but the enemies still move. Okay. So every time, like, the music changes, you've got to change up your movement speed to be in time with the music. It makes when you watch I know, man.
I saw like the hopping, and I'm like, why are they not just walking? What's this hop stuff doing?
Because they're remixing Zelda tracks, I think you will still be familiar enough with those tracks that you'll be like,
look, they threw Zelda in it. That's enough for me to give it a shot. I actually went back to go buy the original because I was like, I want to see what this is all about. And I was just like, oh, man, it just doesn't look good. So I don't know that I want to go back and play the original. Maybe if I play this one, and if I really like it,
well,
then I might go back.
They might do a double pack. Who knows?
It's possible. It's possible. Because this was one where they actually went to Nintendo and was like, hey, man, we want to use Link. Is there any possible way we could use Link or the Zelda world as a DLC? And Nintendo was just like, no, we want a new game. And that blew me away that Nintendo was like, here, you can take our 2 characters and our world and create a game in your world. And like, oh my God, it was so cool. And the character design looks so awesome. Like, I want a top-down Zelda in that art style.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Like, I was watching, and I was like, oh my God, that looks gorgeous, man. The world just looks phenomenal. They really did a good job. Yeah,
it really does. And it, you know, it's exciting to think of what could happen next with other indie developers.
Yeah.
It's easy to get carried away and think that Nintendo's going to be giving their franchises out left, right, and center now. Yeah. I think they're still going to be very strict about it. I don't think we're going to see a ton of new indies playing with Nintendo's first parties.
I mean, they've done this a few times, you know, in the past, where they've taken characters that Nintendo had and kind of put them in the games. But like, this is a little different with the independent developers. I was always expecting them to put Link in Shovel Knight. Kind of like how they put the Battletoads and Kratos in the Sony and the Xbox versions. I always thought, like, man, this game is like, feels like Zelda 2. It'd be so cool to put like Link in that Zelda 2 format in that game. Just never happened, which always kind of broke my heart a little bit, because I was like, man, this would be so cool to have this.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, overall, the whole thing, there was probably about, I'd say, 5 to 6 games that I was like, I'm buying. No doubt about it. I'm buying these games. I pre-ordered Cuphead already. Like,
cool.
I pre-ordered, pre-downloaded, so the day that game launches, I'll have it ready to go.
Yeah, and you know what? They're doing that game so right. The developer that's working on it said, you know, it's 60 frames a second, 1080 on the TV, and like, they had to completely retool the game to get it to run that way on Switch. So it's like, it's not like a cheap rush port or anything. Like, it is as it should be. And they even said that in some ways, I think it even runs better than the Xbox version, and they're going to be updating the Xbox version to match how good it is on Switch.
The thing is, it makes you wonder, like, how long were they working on it? Because that's not something you just grab and go, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that must have been
Microsoft. Turn it around this weekend.
and so the thing is, like, if that's the case, like, how the hell do you keep that secret for that long? The funny thing is so a year ago, right? About that time, about a year ago, I had Roger from Roger's Base on Nintendo Talk Live, and we were having a conversation, and he was saying that at that time, Phil Spencer had just talked about getting out of a meeting with Nintendo, and that he was excited. And at the time, we all thought, like, you know, I don't know what we thought at the time, but it wasn't like, I think a lot of people just felt like he's negotiating characters for Smash.
Oh yeah, probably that.
Like, nobody thought this level of stuff. It now shows that, like, Smash wasn't even on the radar. It goes to show you how dumb the community is. Like, that we're like, oh, he's there to talk about Smash. Like, no, he's there to talk about money and how we're all how they're gonna make money, and let's do this and that and the other thing. The other thing too that I would like to point out to you, Mr. Toby Thornton, is a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, we were doing the Geek Cast.
Yeah.
I talked about how cool Phil Spencer was because he was, like, congratulating Nintendo in tweets and all this stuff. Yeah. And you turn around to me and go, he feels kind of fake when he says that. It just feels like he's whatever. And it's like, I'm like, dude, I think you're being fooled by him.
Listen, right?
And now look it. Now the man has brought us to promised land.
I completely feel that Phil. I don't know. Like,
you apologize now. You say, I'm sorry, Mr. Spencer. I'm sorry for doubting you, Mr. Spencer. Say it now.
Dear Mr. Spencer, I am terribly, terribly sorry that I ever doubted you.
Thank you. Phil Spencer thanks you. I'm sure Sean Capri will call him on the Xbox Drive and thank him for you.
Yeah, that's good. In fact, Phil, you're welcome to come over and play some Xbox with me and some Nintendo Switch with me, and we'll have a jolly good time. So I'll see you next weekend.
That'll be your Geek Out next week, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Bobby, Phil Spencer actually answered me, and he's coming over. You'd be like, dude, you would lose your mind. That'd be like the most crazy. You'd be like, first off, Phil Spencer actually listens to me, and second off, he's coming over. Like, this is awesome. Now, from the get-go, he's always I've always admired him a little bit, because I always felt like he wasn't your typical president. You know, he was one that was like, he just wants to do what's best for the gamers and the fans and all that. And I like that, you know what I mean? Because he's a gamer at heart. So I could see him going into Nintendo and going like, guys, look, we're going to give you some stuff that people want on your console. Here you go. They want Cuphead. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that when that game launched, everybody was screaming like, oh, it'd be so awesome on the Switch. It'd be so perfect on the Switch. Especially with a game like that. Because I feel like a game like that is so infuriatingly hard that you need to like jump in, jump out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of those games where you're going to go in and drop, 15 hours.
Yeah.
At a sitting, because you're going to get mad and you're going to get frustrated. So you're going to play. So the fact that like you can get in and out super quick with the Switch, just is perfect. It's a perfect thing.
Yeah.
So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. Be sure to check out everything that Mr. Thornton over there does on the interwebs over at Twitter, Toby's_take. Stop squeezing that thing, man. It looks pretty phallic. And then, wow. Okay, then. If you go watch the video, folks. You don't want to miss that one. And for me, you can follow me over on Twitter at Nintendo Grooves. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Enjoy yourself and play some video games.
I don't appreciate you, Benji Kong, for encouraging this nonsense. You, sir. No, it's not. Don't be stupid. Okay? We don't have time for the stupidity, okay? What do you think I should leave it with like the blue background and
Yeah, because you've got good contrast going on.
yeah, I got the red all me, and then Nintendo's red, Nintendo's #1, and PlayStation's in the back with the blue.
Look,
makes sense to me.
Just because you're sitting there looking like
Dapper
Limp
Dan.
Bizkit. You look like Limp Bizkit, man.
Oh yeah, that's the first time I've ever said that. I like that.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna break stuff, Toby.
You did it all for the nookie, didn't you?
I did. I gotta. There you go. There you go. Now I look prim and proper. Fred Durst in the house. Yeah, I wish I had that dude's money.
You look white and nerdy. That's what you look.
Whoa! What kind of nonsense is that, Toby?
What do you mean? It's the truth.
Where does that come from? You're a hateful son of a...
They see me rolling on my Segway.
Wow. Okay. I see where this is going. Okay, so... All right, we get the 2 topics. Do you have... Okay, so for... Wait a minute. For the one, do you have... Do you know what... Oh, man. For the Nindies showcase, do you have a list of games that they actually talked about?
I wrote down every single game that was in it.
Okay, then we can just go one by one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll do the same. So I'm not going to do from Out of the Water Pipe on the first episode that we did.
Yeah, say that for the second.
We'll do that for the second episode, and then I'll have to pull some questions in between. I got to watch that trailer, too. Trailer's not long, right? It's only like, what, a couple minutes?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll need you to link me that after in between shows. So
okay,
so this is episode 12. Next one's 13. Okay. Do I look okay, or should I turn this other light on? I'm going to turn this other light on. I want you to tell me which is better.
All right.
Which you prefer? Because it's all about you, Toby. It's not about anybody else but you.
That's true, Bobby. I'm the most important person.
Well, yeah. Okay, so that's...
Oh yeah, that is way better.
Okay, all right. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Love it.
Now I'm not white and nerdy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do one thing before we jump into this recording. What was that again? What?
Do you still believe that rumor about Scalebound? Nintendo reviving Scalebound?
I don't know, man, because nothing was ever said. I think it comes out at E3. I think if it is legit, Nintendo's just kind of keeping it hush. I haven't heard it be debunked.
I was going to say, like, it's just died, that rumor. It's like, no one's saying anything about it.
Yeah, because I think, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
all right, let's go.
Okay. Let's get down to business.
We don't got time to mess around. What is this? You just think you're a rapper today with that thing on your head.
It's called a hat. It's not a thing. It's called a hat.
What is it though?
Huh?
It looks like a bandana.
Hat, man.
Oh, are you sure? It's
Yeah,
not a bandana.
You see the cap? You see the back?
I see it. I see it.
You know what? I hate you, man. I hate you. I swear to God. Here we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I stuttered a little bit, but let me start over.
No, don't hold it against him, fellas.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Mr. Toby Thornton. Toby.
That still wasn't perfect, Bobby.
That was perfect.
You nearly tripped up again.
I almost ran out of breath. That was the problem. I didn't trip up. I had it all here. It was just, I started to... What do you want me to do it over again? I'm not doing it over again.
Just take a deep breath.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Just calm yourself. I think... I'm sorry.
I'm trying to show that I could do this, and you're just
okay, all right. Prove
this is part of the show. I'm just going to show everybody I can do this properly, okay? All right, on the fly. No mess ups, no flubs. Here we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am...